Impact Wrestling kicking off their 2023 with Hard to Kill Friday, January 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It's sold out. Center Stage in Atlanta sold out, so you can only see it on pay-per-view or Fight TV. One of the matches that is going to be a highlight for that card, Jordynne Grace defending the Knockouts World Championship against my guest joining me on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina Hotline. She is a good friend of the show. She's been on many times, and I always treasure anytime I get to talk to her. She is a 10-time Women's World Champion in wrestling, including 4 times as the Impact Knockouts World Champion. Plus, she's a pretty good singer. And we may have to ask her about that because, our sister station, Coke FM, they know how to spin the hits a little bit. It is Mickie James. Follow her on Twitter at Mickie James. Mickie, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much, Stu. I appreciate it.
It's good to see. How were the holidays?
They were pretty spectacular, honestly.
Yeah? Family had fun.
We stayed home. We stayed in Nashville this year for Christmas because I was home back in Virginia a lot over Thanksgiving. So it was pretty amazing. We did Christmas at the house, New Year's, and then we went out because it's also Nick and I's anniversary, New Year's Eve. So we went out for dinner, a little romantic dinner at the Chef and I, here in Nashville, and then brought in the New Year at home.
Very nice.
Like real adults.
Like real adults. I love it. It sounds wonderful. By the way, I was honored to have Nick on the show about a month or so ago. So it was great.
Oh, good.
As well. So
yeah.
All right. So let's talk about this last rodeo back in September. You proclaimed that this was your last rodeo, that your next loss would mean retirement. What led you to this decision?
Well, a lot. I think a lot of things led me to this decision. And I think that, when I was considering moving behind the scenes a couple years ago and kind of talking about that and practicing and studying and doing commentator work and just learning more behind the scenes stuff, the only thing that I really wanted was, and I felt like my career deserved a bookend. It deserved a bow or something that was worthy of my career to kind of hang my hat on and go, okay, that's it. I'm good with that, and after I lost the championship the last time against Tasha, I go, well, I still had a hell of a run and sucked to lose it. But if I'm going to come back I was totally okay sitting at home. And I was talking to Tommy Dreamer actually. And I'm like, listen, if I'm going to come back, like I need to know that I still even belong in this locker room anymore. I mean, the talent is so thick. The girls are better than ever and they're getting more and more opportunities. And let's face it, like I've been doing this for a long time on television, but even longer non-televised. And my recovery time is a little longer. My body hurts a little more. These injuries that I thought would never catch up to me, they catch up. These things, all these factors. Plus, I want to be home for my son more. And I certainly don't want to fade away in the sunset and start having matches where people were like, she should have just retired a few years ago. I want to go out as strong as I came into the business. And I felt like the only way to really do that, it was to do something like this and like really push myself to the limits and challenge myself and work myself back up the roster the same way any other female would that's coming in to try to earn a championship opportunity. I mean, I probably could have walked in there and talked to Scott and said, hey, I want a shot at the championship. And out of respect, he probably would have given it to me, but I didn't want to do it like that. And I wanted to prove to myself, prove to the locker room, prove to the fans that I can still hang with every girl in that locker room and earn my shot, just like they would. And, and if I couldn't, then I'd go home and I don't belong, and that's fine. And honestly, I would have been disappointed. Yes, I would have been disappointed and I would have been sad, but I would have been okay with it, you know? And even going, and that's kind of my mindset going into the 13th of, I've had some, even in this last rodeo, of the women that I've been able to face and challenge, and each one has been more difficult, and a bigger challenge. And Jordan's going to give me the fight of my life. And if I'm going to win that championship, I'm going to earn it. But if she's going to keep that championship, she's going to earn it. And you know, the crowd is really kind of split. You know, they love Jordynne as the champion. They'd love to see me as champion. They don't want to see me retire, but if someone's got to do it, Jordynne is not a bad shout. Like, she's a hell of a champion and a hell of a wrestler and a wonderful representation of this generation of female talent. And so it's the stakes are high, you know, there's a lot of emotions. I've gone through all the emotions kind of going and getting ready for this match. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
I get you. It's kind of ironic. So, about a month and a half ago, just had this same conversation with Dustin Rhodes. I work with him at his Rhodes Wrestling Academy, and we
Yeah,
kind of the same feel. And he's still at the top of his game. So,
yeah,
um,
incredible. I love
yeah,
Dustin, by the way.
he's
Tell
fantastic.
him I love him and hello.
Yeah, next time I see him, I sure will. Um, you mentioned the challenge and the matches you've had since you proclaimed this, um and it's and it would seem to me that this puts a lot of pressure on yourself. Talk about that pressure and how you've been able to, as you say, answer the challenge.
Yeah. I think that I know for myself that I've always performed better under pressure. I perform better when my back is against the wall and I feel like I'm fighting for something. I there's a reason, you know, and there's a purpose. It's purpose driven in that sense. And um otherwise you know, I don't know if I would fight with the same tenacity, you know, like it's one thing to go out there and perform and uh be an awesome entertainer for the fans. It's another when you're fighting for your career and fighting to prove a point that you still belong, and that you're worthy of a championship opportunity, or you're just worthy to be in that locker room still. And I know that my accolades speak for itself in the sense of, like, I shouldn't feel like I have to prove that I still belong. But if it's going to be, like you were saying, like, if I'm going to be an active woman on the roster, I need to be able to go out there and kick ass to the level that is demanded of the females at this time in 2023, you know? And I never wanted to go out as a shell of my former self. I never wanted to not be as good as I once was, you know, or any of those types of comments. And so I thought that this was a perfect way to prove that, whether I do or I don't belong, or, you know, I am not a shell of my former self and I still can go. So, uh, I think we all have to kind of test ourselves, and we have to kind of, you know, just like you reward yourself when you do positive things, I think that you have to, you know, take away things sometimes when you don't deserve them, and you have to you know, have the awareness to know that.
Okay, yeah, it makes total sense. Before we get to your match with Jordan, let's talk about the other world title match on that card. Josh Alexander, who just surpassed Bobby Roode as the
I
longest
know.
reigning Impact Wrestling World Champion. He's got a big test in a Full Metal Mayhem match against Bully Ray, someone that you know quite well. You've been up and down the roads. Talk for a second about that match. What and like I said, Bully pretty well. Um, you know, what are the chances that Josh Alexander is able to extend this title reign?
Well, I hope he does, out of my love for Josh Alexander and for his family, especially the hell that Bully has put them through leading up to this moment. But also, the Full Metal Mayhem match is a match that is synonymous with Bully. Like, that's something he is a master of. And I, you know, it's crazy to me that Josh even suggested this match, knowing it's something that Bully is a master at, you know, and Josh is definitely more of a wrestler's wrestler, you know, so it's something that I know Josh is a tough man, and I know he's got a lot. He's fighting for a lot because this is deeper than just the championship. This is about his family, and he wants to hurt Bully, especially as bad as he's hurt them. Um, but I just, hope that Josh knows what Bully does not care about anybody but Bully, and that's the reality. And he just has to remember that going in there because he would be willing to hurt Josh.
Mhm.
And I know Josh wants to hurt Bully, and as he should want to. I'd want to kill him too, but um yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, I think that everyone kind of got duped. Well, I didn't get duped because I know who Bully Ray is, but everyone else thought that, oh, he's turned a new leaf and he's going to be, play nice and do all the things. And, a leopard can never change their spots. They just can't. It's impossible because their spots are there. They're deeper than the skin. Maybe they're way down in the epidermis. What is it called? I'm trying to sound
Epidermis,
smart, right?
I think, yeah.
That's the skin though, but
Yeah.
when it's deeper, it's like in the
Oh,
skin. It's in there. So even as they shed, as they exfoliate, it's still there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right.
You're absolutely right. And yeah, Josh is going to have to go through. I think he's going to have to reach a new
Deep.
depth
Yes.
to to combat Bully Ray and his experience, especially in a match like Full Metal Mayhem. All right, let's talk about.
Well, I will say that Bully tweeted about the other day. He tweeted about how Hard to Kill was sold out, and we were just having this debate because he had already called me and said, "Hey, you should say thank you to me for selling out Hard to Kill." And so when he tweeted about it, I just quote tweeted him and said, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
So we have a battle of who sold out Hard to Kill.
Well, I think there's probably credit to spread around, but
There's credit to everyone. It's going to be a stacked card, man. Like it's a great card when you run the whole thing down. I mean, we're not the only women's match on the card. What is it? It's Deanna versus Masha versus
Deanna Purrazzo, Masha Slamovich, Taylor Wilde, and Killer Kelly in a #1 contenders match. So the winner of that match is going to face either
whoever wins.
Yeah. So
Jordynne or I.
Yeah. So speaking of you and Jordynne, let's talk about y'all's match. Is this a matter of you're the more experienced? Is this a matter of experience is going to carry you to victory, or is there going to be something else? What is it that you need to overcome of Jordynne Grace to get the victory and win the Knockouts World Championship for a 5th time?
Oh gosh. I mean, it's a matter of her strength. She's so much stronger than me. She's younger than me. And she's very determined. I think, she's been the champion for a while now. And, as the Knockouts champion, you represent the Knockouts division, you represent the company, and she's done a wonderful job. I think it would mean a lot to her in her career if she was the one to end mine. Obviously, that would be a great notch to put on her resume. And it's not out of a disrespect because I do think that Jordynne respects me for the most part, even if she thought I couldn't beat Tasha. I'm okay with it. And even if she stole the tag from me, it's fine. I'm willing to let it go. But going into this, she's fighting for a lot too, because I'm sure in her mind she's fighting for her generation, and it's not even her generation versus my generation, but that's kind of whether I still belong or not or whatever. For me, I'm fighting for myself. I'm fighting for my career. I'm fighting for the championship to be the champion one last time. And if I am the champion, I can guarantee you I'm going to do everything that I can to be the greatest Knockouts World Champion that's ever been. But I'm sure that she wants that same thing. So it's very equal, because it's a lot on the line. It's a lot on the line for me. And maybe my stakes are a little bit deeper just because if I lose, then I can never put on a pair of wrestling boots again. Which sucks because I have a lot of great wrestling boots. I got some really cool ones.
Yeah, you do. You have. It is Impact
But-
Wrestling Hard to Kill Friday, January 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It is sold out at Center Stage in Atlanta, so get it on pay-per-view or get it on Fight.tv. Mickie, you make me smile every time I get to see you.
Oh,
It's
ditto.
always a pleasure to talk to you. You know we love you.
I love you too.
Wishing
Thank
you
you so
all the
much.
best. I gotta admit, even if Jordynne is a native Austinite, I gotta lean towards you. I gotta.
Well, you don't have to claim her anymore because she's in Atlanta now.
That's right.
I know Atlanta by way of Austin. I don't know if that's going to
Well,
be said.
It doesn't matter because I got to cheer for you. You're
I
you're the
appreciate it.
best.
Thank you. You could cheer for her too. It's okay.
That's right. All the best to you. Looking forward to a great match on the 13th. All the best to you, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
I can't wait.